a keen amateur boxer now. How are you, maintaining a kind of a physical regime on the road?
It's been tough on this one, I'm not gonna lie, because right at the kind of first week of the tour, I started getting sick, and that like knocks you out. But I'm just kind of getting back now.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a couple of things. We have P90X,
Right.
which is this like crazy thing, this crazy program, and you can do it twice a day if you want, but it's this like 90-day workout where it's just like a lot of cardio, a lot of plyo, which you do in like boxing, and so we have that, which is kind of like, it's not as hard as like a workout I would do at home, but it's good to maintain, and then I can run.
Right.
I try to get a few runs in every week. When I'm home, I go every day, sometimes twice a day.
Right.
I mean, and like I'm addicted to it. It's like, it's actually, it's a real addiction, but it's a good one. But on the road, you just try to maintain and just stay away from bad food.
Yeah.
Just
Must be quite hard on the road though.
Well, yeah. Well, the thing that's hard on the road is like, and I'm gonna sound like a dork saying this, but the thing that's hard on the road is like your blood sugar's all over the place because your eating schedule's so off.
Right.
And you can't get to everything right when I'm at home. I have like, okay, I wake up and I eat this. I have a regimen.
Yeah.
As soon as I wake up, I eat this oatmeal.
Right.
3 hours later, I eat this. Yeah. Then I work out and then I eat this. It's like when you're on the road, everything's just like, oh, where am I going to shower today? What am I going to eat today? Where are we? Are we close to anything? So it's kind of bounces all over the place. But you just kind of hang in there, and then when I get home, I'll hit it really hard.
Cool.
One of my best friends is a guy named Jason Ellis,
Right.
and he is kind of he's also kind of my as far as like any kind of like boxing, MMA, anything like any of that stuff. He's always pushing me to like do more and do better. So, and when we're home, we're always hanging out. So when I get home, I'm with my friends, and that group of friends, that are all fighters and this and that, and it makes you want to do more and more. So,
So you've got the huge boxing gloves, which to touch are very soft and nice, but when someone's throwing the body weight behind it, what's it like to take if get caught in the face? How much does that hurt?
I mean, you get used to it. It's a little bit of like it's thing. I don't know. It's like kind of. I mean, when the gloves that you use, when you're working out, they're 16-ounce gloves.
Right.
The gloves that pro boxers use are 10-ounce gloves.
Oh, right.
So
even less,
in order for
personal.
like the fight I did was an amateur fight, and in order for it to be basically like you have to wear headgear and you have to use 16-ounce gloves, or kind of like if there's anyone. I mean, it's when you're in your backyard, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
But when it's like a public, like kind of anyone like related to the boxing world can get in trouble, can get fined if they actually let anyone kind of get in the ring and fight without headgear or with smaller gloves, because then it's like the boxing commission or whatever. Yeah, there's rules.
Right,
so
right.
I mean,
Does it inspire you to defend yourself more when you get caught?
oh, I mean, yeah, I mean it's not that bad. I mean, for me, I guess I don't know. I mean, it's like, I mean, well, the MMA gloves are 4 ounces.
Yeah.
That's
Somebody's not well.
that's
there
those, yeah, when those guys, when they get hit, man, they're,
Yeah.
I can't even, I haven't been hit with an MMA glove.
Yeah.
It's
brutal.
I'm sure it's brutal, but with boxing gloves, I mean, there's definitely times when you get, where you, for a second, you kind of like, everything kind of,
It's like sea stars.
yeah, well, or like you kind of go out for a second,
All right.
and you go, whoa, what just happened? You know what I mean? Everything kind of goes slow motion, and you kind of just like I think then you're just kind of you kind of like whatever you like. I guess that's the point of training is like you do things repetition,
Yeah.
and then in those moments when you kind of lose your mind, when you kind of like switch off for a 2nd, your body just kind of keeps doing what it was like kind of
Goes into autopilot.
yeah, taught to do, so it goes into autopilot. Yeah.
Right.
So but when you're like sparring and stuff, you get some adrenaline, and you don't really. I mean, at least for me, you don't feel it.
Yeah.
Other than like, even when you get when you get your bell rung,
Mm-hmm.
you don't like feel it. You just all of a sudden it's like everything's slow motion, and you just kind of like,
Whoa.
and you just kind of like, and you just kind of fight through it, and then
Right.
it kind of comes back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if you play that, if you play the UFC video game,
Yeah.
when you get when someone's close to a knockout on that game, everything kind of goes like
Slow motion.
yeah, and it kind of goes like, it has that anyone who's played it knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it's like.
Right.
Like in a second, like when you really get caught, like kind of everything just kind of goes like real, like, and so you don't really feel anything. I mean, sometimes it like the jabs to the nose hurt
Yeah, I bet.
more than
Yeah.
when you don't. I don't know. At least to me.
Your eyes must fill up.
Yeah, they water and stuff.
It's definitely not tears then.
But it all happens really fast,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But it's a rush, man.
I
It's
bet.
like it's addicting,
Cool.
And every time, I mean, one of the reasons I love being on tour,
Mhm.
and the only thing I miss when I'm not on tour is my nieces and my nephew,
Mhm.
and like being able to train and like
Yeah.
I mean, I love it. I don't know what I'll ever end up doing with it, but it's just a great. I would suggest it for anyone. Doesn't mean you have to go and fight or whatever, but just to training and stuff.
The discipline of it.
You push yourself, you know what I mean, and like
Mhm.
you learn a lot about yourself, and like I mean, and it's intimidating, dude. The first time I ever walked into a gym, I was intimidated. I don't, I mean, I always knew like I could hold my own, but it's a whole different thing. It's
Mhm.
not the same, and so you go in there and you're kind of I'm shy, and I'm kind of like, and next thing you know, a month later, everyone at the gym, you've made a bunch of friends, and it's like a whole new kind of like hobby, and
Mhm.
like and you've lost 10 pounds, and you go, wow, man,
Sounds
like
good.
yeah, so it's great. I would suggest it for anyone.
Excellent. So finally, who's your favorite boxer of all time? In the movies or in real life?
My favorite boxer of all time. That's a hard one. Well, my grandfather,
Right.
my mom's dad, never met him, was a fighter.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and
Did he have a cool nickname?
I've
or
seen
anything?
pictures, and his name, he didn't even go by Madden.
Right.
Yeah, so I guess he had trouble with the law here
Right.
and there. But so I'm gonna have to say my granddad. I never met him, but and then other than that, man, I loved Sugar Ray.
Yeah.
He was from where I grew up.
Oh right.
Yeah, so
Awesome.
he was a big deal around there. Everybody. He
Yeah.
was like hometown hero.
Cool.
So my dad loved him.
Excellent. Well, it's been great chatting to you. We'll speak again during the tour.
Yeah.
Keep up the
I'll try.
PX90, is it?
P90X.
P90X, and we'll see you for a
Yeah.
round in the gym later. Thanks
Awesome.
a lot.
Appreciate
Cheers,
it.
man. Correct.